Hi guys, Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. So we've got some new Alox scales for our 111mm knife. So those that aren't aware, the Alox are these ones here. So this is a very old farmer, and I love these. These are a brilliant knife. So got these from Swiss Bianco. Now about a decade ago I got these copper ones for a 91mm. So these are plus scales. So this adds the pen and the pin, which is under the corkscrew or the Phillips. So I'll take a reasonably sized pin. So these are the scales. So this is the pen slot here. So it's got a slight curve in it, and that's to lock the pen in place. I thought it was cut strangely, but it's not. Which makes perfect sense because it'll be on the downward side of the knife. So I gave some thought. I've certainly got a few of these 111s to choose from, but I wanted something pocket friendly, as this does have a pocket clip, and it's a clip in the upward position, so your pivot point will be out of the crud that's in your pocket. But if I hang it down off a retention clip, it's always the tip in there. And I wanted something without a one-handed blade, so it looks less threatening in public. So in my mountaineering days I carried a picnicker, which is basically exactly the same knife as this. Mine was a side lock, so these scales would not work on the older models. They have different pin sizes, but more importantly there's a lock here. So these are the liner locks. So I chose the Adventurer, which is the same as the picnicker but with a Phillips. So for what I would use EDC in, this would be a great knife. Well, this is a great knife. And the addition of these scales should improve it, because it's really handy to have a pen day to day. Now I may change out the toothpick for a mini fire still, so I like having an extra layer. No, extra way of making fire, I should say. So we'll take this apart. It's a rainy day today. This is a perfect day for it. We'll pop these scales off and test fit these. Now the chances are there'll be some filing required on the collars, but we'll see how we go. Alright guys, we'll get the scales off. I'm not sure what happened to the camera there. So I popped off one side just using the can opener tool. So for a liner lock, its pivots are 3mm and 2.5. The original side locks were 2.5 and 2.2. So the liner locks are stronger. So same as I did on the other side. Just ease under till I get this started. Go gentle because you can reuse these ones. Just slide under there like that. Feel for the first pin. Ease along. Second one's in the middle. So I've got those off, so you can see like the roughness inside here. So these are an interference fit. So the backing plates aren't flat. They've got half moons up here and a long half moon there. So it's really thin. It's a shame they don't make these with just an Alox scale. I reckon that would be pretty cool. So pretty straightforward. One side's got a cutout for the corkscrew and the other side hasn't. So it's going to take a bit of filing. So there's no give in the aluminium. So these little top hats here, I'll have to file them slow and gentle until the side sits down nice and flush. With the copper one, I think one of them actually snapped on from factory, but not so this time. Now, the models that have the screwdriver have an extra collar, and it doesn't look like it's going to go. Otherwise I'm going to have to file a fair bit off that one. Let's see how we go. So I filed the top of the pins, and I've also taken off the majority of that lip. Still a little bit there, and I've scratched up the side plates a bit as well. Make sure you do a bit more of that for the epoxy so it gets a good grip. So that's it there. So before this wouldn't lock down, now it's snapping in place real nice. So I've come to the decision. I'm going to have to do something with this collar. The emailed Swiss Bianco, and he suggested filing some of the collar off and squeezing this in a vise. So you've got to be really careful with these pins. If you give them a hard crack with a hammer, if you're doing a custom build, it'll lock solid or make it really stiff, and you'll lose that sort of nice factory snap. So that doesn't seem like a good idea. So I'm debating whether to drill the head off and just paint it, and we'll see how we go. There's no way that's going over that anytime soon. Right guys, this has been incredibly painful to do with a hand file. So whether the camera's doing that justice, I've taken all of the collars, a bare smidgen of it left. So if I was to do it again, I would go with the drill route and remove the collar and repaint it. So I'm certainly giving it plenty of contact for the epoxy glue. So I've got a nice fit, pretty reasonable on the back of the spring. Let's see if we can give that a little bit of a push up with the Yep, I'm liking the look of it, but I'm not particularly happy with this. Anyway, I'll give it a bit more tidy up here, and we'll get some epoxy on this guy and get it glued up. Well guys, we're all done. So I used a 2-part epoxy resin to put the scales on, so it had to be clamped for a couple of days. Made a slight boob when I was putting this one on. I managed to get a little dab of glue. I clamped it in a downward position just on the entrance where the pen goes in. So I put a 2.5mm drill bit in there and got it while it was still soft. So that was fortunate. I cleared it clear out. All the tools are working as per factory. So apart from having to faff around with that pivot point, it was a pretty straightforward job. So really quite pleased. There's a bit of a gap where these tools come in, as in the pen as well. It actually makes it easier to get your thumbnail in to get them out, which is a bonus anyway. So I'm liking it guys, I really am. Anyway guys, if this type of content helps you out and helps you make good things, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.